Hello peeps, this is Tango and welcome back to Tango's World of Fix. Today I'll be reading Accidentally in Love. This is chapter 11. 11 is my number that I'm cursed by, so a lot of the time I look at the time and it's something 11 and not really sure what that means for me. But I also curse some other people, so we have a group chat, so whenever it's something 11, or anything with 11 just happens in our lives, we send a message just saying, if it's the time, then we just say time, on time. And if not, send a picture of whatever it is. That's a random story. Okay. This is a summary. Many things that were going to happen finally happened. Notes. I am so sorry for the wait. This past month has been non-stop chaos, and I could barely find a moment to breathe between assignments. Thankfully, things seem to be slowing down a bit. Hopefully, I'll be able to upload more frequently soon. Knocks on wood. Thank you all so much for being patient with me. I don't want to spoil the chapter right here, but a couple warnings that what Satou discussed back on the swing set comes back into play later on this chapter, as well as the second half of being a bit of a bummer. If you're not feeling too hot, please don't force yourself to read something sad. I hope you find something fluffy and wonderful to read instead. I promise this fic is going to end on a super sappy note. It just has to get a little worse before it can get better. Okay, well, let's get into the chapter on that note. It's not until the following afternoon, but Hiroshi calls him. Saiki is caught in the middle of cleaning his room and doing every other little task he can think of to distract him from his phone, when the damn thing finally rings. He materializes it into his palm and counts down to 5 in agony. Then he answers. Hello? Hey, Saiki. Hey. Saiki replies, dumbly, because it's so nice to hear his voice again. How are you feeling? Hiroshi laughs, but not despairingly. Why did I almost read that wrong? It's a good sign. Better. Sorry, I meant to call you yesterday, but I wasn't ready. And that's okay. Saiki is quick to assure him. I'm just glad you're feeling better. I am. He can picture a smile on Hiroshi's face, and it has him smiling too. You said you wanted to talk about something? Oh, right. Saiki chews on the inside of his cheek. He thinks, long and hard, about his response. Saiki, are you there? My bad, Hiro. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'll tell you next time we meet up, okay? He would rather not sour the mood so quickly, and besides, telling your boyfriend you ended homophobia is a discussion that you should probably have face-to-face, so Saiki doesn't beat himself up over his cowardice. He has made a perfectly reasonable decision, right? Alright, if you say so. Speaking up, I kind of missed you. Saiki laughs. Scratch that. He giggles. Saiki Kusuo giggling. Have the past 2 days actually made him crazy? Only kind of. I'm hurt. You know what I mean, Hiroshi huffs. But yeah, maybe we could do something tomorrow. After school, I don't really have any ideas. Maybe we could just play by ear? Honestly, Hiroshi could ask Saiki to file taxes with him, and he would enjoy every second of it. Sounds great. I'll meet you at the school gates then. Yeah, that works. I can't wait. Same here. A small silence settles over the line. Faint static crinkles like Saiki's eyes until Hiroshi laughs again. I'm actually free the rest of the day if you want to do something now. Saiki says yes, all smiles and excitement and pent-up energy, and it's only when Hiroshi ends the call that the giddiness possessing him is finally exorcised from his body. He remembers the decision he made mere minutes ago and finds himself as miserable as he was before. Call them a broken record, but they end up at Cafe Mommy. It's seldom busy, and Kusuo is going to need some coffee jelly to get through this conversation. He continues working up his nerve as they order, the tension of the past few days slipping away as Hiroshi jumps into yesterday's baseball practice and his frustration with his trigonometry homework, before laughing about something his younger brother Ren did during dinner last night. And that's when their plates arrive, and it's Kusuo's turn to talk. And he just doesn't tell him. Well, that is fine. It's probably not better not to ruin Hiroshi's mood when he's clearly in such high spirits. But wouldn't that be kind of a shitty thing to do? Kusuo knows that he has to tell him, so he'll just do it tomorrow. He doesn't do it tomorrow. How could he when the timing was never right? The walk to school is too early because if the confession goes wrong, that's a whole day ruined. Besides, Hiroshi didn't eat breakfast again, and it's more important for Kusuo to remind him to eat better, especially when he's an athlete, than bring up this whole brainwashing thing, which is important, he knows. He'll set some time aside for it tomorrow, after school. This time, Hiroshi had baseball practice, so it's not Kusuo's fault. Half a week has gone by, but that's okay. Kusuo is just waiting for the right time. This is all for Hiroshi's sake anyways, so it has to be perfect. Kusuo already messed up once. He won't know what to do with himself if he messes this up too. So he waits a little longer, whipping up a script while watching Hiroshi practice. The script he makes is crumpled up and tossed away right before they walk home together. On Saturday, Kaido taps on Kusuo's shoulder during class. Psst, Saiki, how'd it go? How'd what go? Talking to Satou. Did it go well? The teacher sends them a sharp glare before returning to the lesson. That's why Kusuo does not offer a response. Better to avoid the teacher's scorn than gossip during class. Never mind, he's not even speaking out loud. Saiki! What? Did it go well? The teacher could look back at them at any second, so Kusuo stays silent. Kaido kicks the back of his shoe. You didn't tell him! I didn't say that. I know you didn't. You were good about hiding your powers, but you're still such a bad liar, dude. Kusuo whips around in his seat. Not so loud. Is there an issue, boys? The two boys face forward, backs as straight as a ruler. No, ma'am. Kaido squeaks, and the teacher gives them one last glare, one that threatens further discipline beyond mild embarrassment, and turns back to the board. Kusuo slouches back against his seat, but his back still feels stiff. He hasn't felt at ease since sliding into that booth at Cafe Mami. Not to mention, everything he's eaten since then, even his beloved coffee jelly, has tasted like dust. Kaido taps on his shoulder. Reluctantly, Kusuo slides off his ring. Saiki! Can you hear me? Saiki! Kusuo jumps. Stop yelling. Jeez, you're hurting my brain. Tell him. I will. Tell him now. The yelling. Please. And I can't. I'm in class. After, smart guy. What's the point of lecturing each other if you're not going to even do it? I never said I wasn't going to do it. I'm just not doing it today. Tomorrow will be better. Why is tomorrow better? Because if he follows this up with "it just is," he's going to look like such a hypocrite. It just is. Damn it. Okay, so maybe Kusuo has been avoiding talking to Hiroshi. Well, they do talk, a lot actually. Not speaking for a few days made them both a little stir-crazy, but he knows what he really needs to talk about. He knows what he really needs to talk about, and it's not the mundane topics they usually kick around like a stray can. He's just... Hell, what the heck do you want him to say? Scared? Yeah, sure, he's scared. Why wouldn't he be? When he's the only person that could ever have this issue come up in the relationship, that there's not exactly a website with dating advice on how to prevent your psychic powers from ruining your dating life. And besides the fear, there's the dread that has already settled in Kusuo's gut. the same dread that has killed his taste and ruins every good moment presented to him. It's less so the dread of not knowing what will happen when he finally confesses to Hiroshi, but the kind where he already knows what to expect. No, he didn't time travel to see what would happen if he does. Hiroshi deserves a normal confession, and for his reactions to not be treated like the various outcomes of a choose-your-own-adventure story. Choose your own adventure story. I can't talk. Still, Kusuo is certain that he knows what to expect from this, and that is the worst. He's so certain he's already accepted it, and putting off the confession until he's able to wring every last drop of happiness from this relationship as he can. Is it unhealthy? Yes. Is it unfair to Hiroshi? Probably. But at least he gets to live in blissful ignorance, right? Besides, Kusuo just wants to go back to pretending. He wants to keep pretending that his actions are as harmless as the jet black wings. Is that so wrong? As if mind reading goes both ways, Kaido asks him, "Don't you want this to last?" Kusuo does. That's why he's waiting. "Yes, I do." "So tell him." "That'll end it. It won't go well." "You don't know that." "I do, Kaido, and I could confirm it right now if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. Let me deal with this. It's none of your business." Even going on the defensive doesn't work this time. Kaido is relentless in his pursuit. "Saiki, he makes you happy, I can tell, and you're allowed to want your relationship to work out, but you have to actually make it work. I really think you can do it. You just gotta tell him." Kusuo runs a hand over his face, pushing his glasses off the bridge of his nose. No amount of reassurance will stop his dread from haunting him, because maybe this was never meant to work out, you know? He confessed way too early, in a moment of shock and adrenaline, and Hiroshi and him are so different, in a way that's almost comical. What even was this conversation with Kaido the other day? Nothing he said was even remotely how he felt, was it? It's almost like he's been avoiding his true feelings on their relationship. Beyond the involvement of his psychic powers, maybe he's just not emotionally ready for such a connection. Maybe he doesn't deserve to feel so special and cared for and A mighty kick sends Kusuo sprawling out of his chair and onto the floor. Well, the kick isn't all that mighty, as it's more so surprising. His thoughts are thrown out of his brain and scattered across the floor with him. In contrast to the off-white tile, they seem far more absurd and exaggerated. Kusuo looks up at Kaido, who smiles timidly. "Sorry, I could tell you were lost in your head. Had to kick you. Don't be mad." Not nearly as mad as their teacher, anyways, who starts screaming for the boy to leave the room immediately. But with a blink from Kusuo, he's placed back in his seat, and time is set back 3 minutes in the process. Before Kaido can hiss at him again, he holds up his ring just enough to show that he's not wearing it. "Did you tell him?" Kaido asks. "No, but I'm going to later today." "Dang, it's almost been a week. What took you so long?" "I needed a push." He smirks, then slides his ring back on. What an ironic twist of fate. Hiroshi isn't free after school. "Sorry, my dad texted me halfway through class, and my mom's got a migraine, so she doesn't really trust him to go to this grocery store without impulse shopping." Hiroshi kneels over the shoe lockers as he slips on his tennis shoes, bummed but not lamenting nearly as much as Kusuo. Right, the universe hates him. How could he forget? "Do you think he'll be free after?" "Yeah, probably." With a final tug on his heel, Hiroshi kicks his shoe into place and stands upright. "Just depends on if he needs help with dinner or not. I'll let you know." Kusuo must not hide his disappointment very well, because Hiroshi takes his hand and smiles. "Aw, don't miss me much. We'll see each other. We see each other every day anyways." Kusuo manages a laugh that's not too forced. I need to tell you something about that thing today." "What thing?" "The thing I was telling you about before on the phone." Hiroshi frowns, apparently not remembering it at all. Before he can ask for his memory jogged, his phone goes off. He's quick to check it. My dad's already at the store. I've gotta go. Bye! It's quick. The feather-like kiss against Kusuo's cheek. Hiroshi is even quicker, flying out the door on his mom's assigned mission. He leaves Kusuo stranded by the shoe lockers. Where blush would normally form, Kusuo's face pales instead. That dread is still there. Another kick from Kaido won't be enough to shake it this time. Kusuke is a bloodhound for unease, and he slinks into Kusuo's room as he's doing his homework. Looks like it's gonna rain soon. If you're going out to meet your boyfriend, I'd recommend waiting for the weather to clear up. Getting dumped in the rain sounds like such a cliche. Kusuo clenches his pencil so hard that it not only breaks, but shatters into a trillion atom-sized pieces. He should have known better to blab about his plans to his mom with prying eyes and prying warps. Out to my room, now. I'm not in your room. I'm in your door frame. Sure he is. Lounging against the opening like a cat in a sunbeam. God, he makes Kusuo so mad. Leave me alone. Are you going out later? None of your business. Rude. I'm your older brother. I want to know where you're going after dark. Kusuo taps the pile of wooden scraps that used to be a pencil, fixing it right back up. You don't care about that. You just want to observe me like a guinea pig. I have noticed that these past 2 weeks your behavior has been abnormal, by your standards anyways. You've been following me around without my permission again? No, Warp has. Kusuo bolts up from his desk, his chair shooting back and cracking the drywall. Kusuke puts his fingers in the air. He puts his arms in the air. Mom never said anything against that, but Warp has observed. What Warp has observed is very interesting. Would you like a summary of my findings? I don't care. Just get out. The strength of your powers has been fluctuating. Some tasks seem to take up less energy than others, such as levitating to grab the frisbee on our roof. However, you showed more force than necessary when summoning the TV remote. See? ¿Sí? ¿Lo encontraste? ¿Es ese o es otro?
No sé, me parece que justo ahí el móvil.
Sorry about that. My grandfather walked in. They're visiting for a little while. So, where was I? However, you showed more force than necessary when summoning the TV remote in your hand. It broke, which you normally don't let happen. Don't you find that interesting? Are you saying the limiters you built me are malfunctioning? Maybe you're not as good of an engineer as you thought. Kusuke's eye twitches. My findings indicate that this has happened before, when you happen to be under a period of emotional distress. Your powers function more irregularly. Like when you were 7 and Dad ate the rest of your birthday cake. Damn, he was 7? Kusuo was still mad about it today, to be honest. My theory is you are currently undergoing another such period, and I believe it's caused by relationship woes. Am I wrong? Kusuo grits his teeth, and thankfully, they don't shatter like his pencil. Yes, you are. And my relationship status is none of your business. I know that! No, you don't. You're constantly invading my privacy, observing me, testing me, being an absolute dick. If you would just listen to me on this, your powers are fluctuating dangerously in this strength. My limiters work just fine, thank you, but it would be wise if you would avoid worsening whatever conflict you're in. As if on cue, Kusuo's phone starts ringing. It's sitting face up on his desk, Hiroshi's name and face staring up at him ominously. He reaches for it, but stops when Kusuke arches one incredibly thin brow. What? I wouldn't. You're not a part of this. Didn't you cause the apocalypse in your sleep once? At least consider how you're going to handle whatever comes next. The phone keeps ringing, and Kusuo can't handle the taunts coming from either end. His pulse races, and the thread of power woven into his being pulled tighter and tighter, but he won't give Kusuke the satisfaction of blowing up. Whatever happens, I'll be fine. He answers the phone. Hiroshi is crying. Kusuo refuses to give Kusuke the satisfaction of being right, or the risk of the asshole overhearing anything Hiroshi manages to choke out. He crosses his eyes and finds Hiroshi stomping through the rain, just stepping off the bridge over the river. He teleports immediately, casting a barrier over their heads to block the rain. Hiro! Hiroshi turns, clothes just short of drenched. His bangs are plastered onto his forehead, hanging just too short to cover his puffy red eyes. That was fast. Kusuo reaches out to touch him, hand hovering uncertainly until landing on Hiroshi's arm. What happened? Do you want me to take you home? The speed at which Hiroshi shakes his head startles Kusuo. No, I'm fine. He sobs, and it's the worst sound that Kusuo has ever heard. The thread woven into him is pulled ever so tighter that he tries to pull Hiroshi into an embrace, but he's pushed away. I was with my dad, and then he was tidying up the house. Earlier, he found the earring, and he asked if I had a girlfriend, so I just said no. I didn't even tell him it was mine. And then Hiroshi wipes frantically at his eyes. He asked if I had a boyfriend, and I don't know why, but I just exploded. Oh no. I didn't mean to. I didn't, but I don't know what came over me. I yelled at him in the middle of the grocery store, and I couldn't stop. He was so mad, and he keeps saying that he was sorry, which only made me more mad. And then when I finally told him why, he said... Hiroshi throws his fisted hands against his thighs. He didn't even remember what he said to me! And then he breaks down further. And Kusuo is left standing there, hands hovering where it once lay. He knew that this was coming for a long time, and he did nothing to stop it. His heart is pounding, accelerating the rate at which it's shattering. All this wasted time to prepare, all this time spent avoiding this moment by doing nothing, and when the universe finally forces him to confront his problems, he still does nothing. No, he can't. He can't keep doing this. No matter what happens, Hiroshi is owed the truth. He grabs Hiroshi's hands and his attention. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. No, it's not. It's mine. Kusuo, I said I hated him. And then I just ran out. I can't go home. Yes, you can. This wasn't your fault. I need to tell you something. Hiroshi makes a face. Now? Kusuo squeezes his hands, with a feeling that he may never get to hold them again. Yes. Now. I should have told you from the start. I'm so sorry. I did this. Kusuo, what do you mean? Hiroshi stares back at him, exhausted. But this can't wait any longer. There will never be a right time to tell him. It just has to happen. Kusuo takes a stilted breath. I used my mind control to raise homophobia. There is no immediate reaction. Hiroshi just stares at him, eyes narrowing. What? Mind control. I used it on the entire world. I erased homophobia as best as I could, and later that day, transphobia too. I mean, it felt wrong not to do both. Hiroshi blinks the tears out of his eyes. Okay? Nope, you don't. Kusuo scrambles for the right phrasing. I did it because two of my friends were dancing around each other, but there were consequences, and they hurt you. Consequences? I thought it would, well, I tried to make people guilty, not just erase their bad behavior. That way that they could atone or something. But it didn't work out that way, and so it made your dad. That's what it takes for Hiroshi to finally understand. Calmly, he tears his hands free from Kusuo's. Wait. Wait! He wasn't supposed to. I had no idea. Hiroshi cradles the sides of his head, and his knees buckle. So, what he said, he wasn't lying, and Kusuo reaches out to steady him. Stop talking! Kusuo freezes. Please, just give me a second, and don't say anything right now. Kusuo nods, biting his tongue. Hiroshi is able to find his balance, but his head won't stop shaking. All of him is shaking. Small, quiet tremors that are aftershocks of something greater, something that already erupted in the grocery store earlier. Oh my God. Dad. He's silent for a long time. The rain is roaring around them, the wind whipping against the barrier. Kusuo doesn't know what to do now. He confessed, but there's more. Just like with his first confession, he feels just as aimless afterwards, but the last time, Hiroshi was there to anchor him. He listened to Kusuo's worries about his powers, his sexuality, and everything else, and now Kusuo is on his own. In the desperation, he blurts, "Are you okay?" Hiroshi finds his voice, and it is furious. Am I okay? No, Kusuo, I am not okay. Oh, okay, of course. His bad. Kusuo nods. I'm sorry. Do you know what I just did? Did you hear what I just did? I did, Hiro. Did you hear the part where I yelled at my dad in public about how much I hate him? Kusuo swallows thickly. Yes, I heard. It's silent again, but the rain is deafening. Hiroshi scratches his bangs out of his face, fury dissolving into disbelief. He stares off somewhere just past Kusuo, maybe towards the grocery store, maybe towards home. What am I supposed to say to him? It wasn't his fault, but I'm still mad. I don't even get to be mad anymore, right? Kusuo panics. You can still be mad. No, I can't, Kusuo. What good will that do? He doesn't even remember, which basically means it doesn't even happen. But it did. I know that! I was there! The rain falls harder and harder, and Kusuo just decides not to talk anymore. Hiroshi collects himself, wiping his eyes again. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have yelled. I shouldn't have... He checks his phone suddenly, Kusuo sneaking a quick glance. 12 missed calls, all from Hiroshi's father. Hiroshi pockets his phone solemnly. I love my dad. He's not perfect. He's messed some things up, but I have too. Not this, but that doesn't matter. I have to fix this. I don't want to lose him. You won't, Kusuo wants to say, but he can't, because he honestly doesn't know what Hiroshi has to do or what he can do. You had good intentions, Kusuo. I know that, but I wish you had told me. Especially after, well, it doesn't matter. It just, you didn't, and I need some time to fix this, and yeah, I need some time. It was inevitable. Kusuo knew it. He knew that knew that going into this relationship. Deep down, he realized that this wasn't going to last. His dread was warranted, and he had prepared to face the end, whether it happened before or after he told the truth. But still, it hurts. It hurts in a way that he's never felt before. He feels exposed, humiliated, and all his faults are on display. His body aches as if it were sick, and his skin prickles against the mist of the storm. He can't bear to move, to think, in fear that he'll completely fall apart. The tears come at the same time. Hiroshi looks at him, horrified. It almost seems like he's going to reach for Kusuo, but he stops himself. It'll send the wrong message. Kusuo knows that too. Still, he begs for one last hand to hold, one last hug, one last something, not for it to end, please. He's never been so happy. He's never felt so seen, so free of all the things that he hates about himself. Except, he wasn't. All he's ever thought about since the day that they properly met was how he was going to mess this up. And he did. He was happy during it, but he was just as unhappy too. And now he's just miserable. Hiroshi struggles for what to say. He sniffs, fighting back his emotions, and croaks, "Walk home, safe, or just be safe." He turns to leave, walking out from under the barrier. The rain pelts him to the bone, as it does Kusuo, who drops the barrier entirely. As if it's going to be a cliche, they're both going to endure it. What? Kusuo doesn't go home. He doesn't go anywhere. He sits on the cold, wet concrete with his back against the bridge's railing. He feels so much that he's numb from the rain and everything else. If he goes home, he'll have to face Kusuke's smug face, or his dad mumbling questions, or his mom smothering concern. He doesn't want any of that. He just wants to be alone. He doesn't want to be alone. He wants to be with Hiroshi, but it's impossible to tell what time it is with all the rain. If he stays out any longer, Kusuo knows he might catch a cold. Even with his immunity from his psychic powers, it's absolutely freezing. He knows that he should head home, if only to keep his mom from worrying. Maybe he wouldn't mind her smothering or warm hugs, her soft voice whispering assurances that aren't true, but she makes true, just by being his mom. Still, he can't find the energy to stand or teleport or do much of anything, so he stays where he is, cold and alone. Kusuo glares into the rain's haze. A white cat stands out against the darkness, tail erect and chirping shrill. What? If he had it in him, Kusuo would crush Warp into a scrap pile and chuck him into the river. As it stands, he can't even bring himself to flip the robot off. Go away. Warp, as always, doesn't listen to him. His tail swishes as a figure emerges from behind him. Rain boots further to disturb the puddles as Kusuo... What? Rain boots further disturb the puddles as Kusuo's mother walks briskly through the storm, armed with a massive umbrella, the comically sized ones you might find and get for your father on Father's Day. Just like Kusuo did. Ku, baby, are you okay? Kusuo is on his feet in an instant. He sprints to his mother, the sound barrier threatening to shatter with how quick he moves. He barrels into her, wrapping his wet arms around her torso and burying his head in her shoulder. His mother loses the wind from her lungs, but quickly regains it. "Oh, Ku, we were worried. It's so late. What happened?" She uses her free arm to hold him, and that's when Kusuo just breaks. He sobs into the rubber of her raincoat, his tears streaking down with all the other droplets. His mother runs her hand up and down his back, easing some of the knots that have formed along his spine. "It's okay, baby. Whatever happened, it's going to be okay. I've got you." It will be okay, because she said so. Kusuo decides to believe her, because he's too tired not to. They stand there for a few moments longer, before his mother takes his hand and leads him, and Warp, home. Notes. I am so sorry to come back a month only to have them break up. I promise this wasn't intentional. This chapter was naturally going to follow the last one, and then my life just happened and to get super hectic. I'm reading this so badly. Forgive me. I added so many commas in random places, I guess, when I was reading. I don't know. On a lighter note, I need you all to watch Infinity Train on HBO Max or support the show in other ways so it can maybe get renewed and I don't have to sit here in agony as I finally got around to watching it right as it got canceled. Please, y'all, I'm begging you. It's so good you won't regret it. Okay, maybe? I don't know what Infinity Train is, but I'll, like, look it up and see if I want to watch it. Anyways, oh my god, that chapter was so fucking sad! Also, my grandparents were, like, checking in on me, like, so much, so there might be some awkward cuts. Yeah. Also, I have cherries. And they were in a bowl of ice that my grandmother brought me because she's nice. But the ice is melted and now it's just water. They look kind of sad. Oh, it's funny because first my grandfather brought me the same thing so he brought it in a plastic cup, and then my grandma came and had it all, like, really nice with all these, with, like, ice in a very nice bowl. It's just funny, like, how different they both are. But they had the same idea. I don't know. Anyways, my chair is so squeaky. It's been too long. I started school yesterday. It was boring because I literally didn't do any of my schoolwork. Now I'm forced to do it all today, and instead of doing that, I'm reading fan fiction. Yay! It's been a little bit too long since I posted something. I'm gonna see if I can record some other chapters of something, just because I probably should. Feel free to read these if you're getting too bored of me taking forever to update. Anyways. Yeah, no, it's just been super hectic because, like, my grandparents are here and it's kind of hard to record with them around because they, like, basically never leave the house. But since they're leaving in, like a week or something, they went out to go do some shopping before they go back to Argentina. So, yeah. I was, like, trying my best to sound sad and voice act, I guess, as best as I could. I want to become a voice actor, so, like, this is, like, a big practice for me. I don't think I'll ever be very good. I don't even know if I will ever voice act, but yeah, I'm so confident with myself. Anyways, but that's a dream. I love acting, so. I'm not sure if you can tell, but I'm still a little bit congested. I think that's the right word, yeah. Yeah. But, yeah. So, that chapter was, like, I almost died. I was, like, struggling. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. That's so sad. And then I kept choking. Choking because I know I had a cherry pit in my mouth while I was recording for some reason. And I choked on it twice throughout the entire thing, so I had to, like, yeah. And then I spit it out because I decided maybe I don't want to choke on this. So, because why would you want to choke? I kept, like, zoning out. Anyways, yeah, so I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for listening. This is Tango, signing off. Bye!